Good morning, boys and girls. I'm happy to have you here with me for our math lesson this morning about factors and products and prime numbers. Let's get started. First, we're going to write this problem on the board. 5 times 6 equals 30. We've talked about this before in class, but not recently. So let's review again what these parts of the problem are called. The answer to a multiplication problem is called the product. The product. And the two numbers that we multiply to get the product are called the factors. The factors. And remember how we talked about factories made products? So when you multiply the factor times the factor, you get the product. Just like factories make products. So if I said, what is the product of this problem? You would say 30. What are the factors in this problem? You would say 6 and 5. Now let's write a problem, and I'm going to ask you a question. See if you can answer it before I tell you the answer. If I have the factors 3 and 2, what will my product be? You are correct if you said 6, because remember, factor times factor equals the product. The product. Let me ask you another one. If I have the factors 4 and 5, what is my product? Well, when I think about factors, I know that I have to multiply. 4 times 5 equals 20. So factor times factor equals the product. Now I'm going to give you a product and ask you what the factors are. What if the product is 9? What are some of the factors? Well, we have to think about that. Let's start with the number 1, and we can always say that one of the factors of any number is going to be 1, because 1 times any number equals that number. So here are the first two factors of 9, 1 and 9, because 1 times 9 equals 9. Can you think of any other numbers that are factors of 9? Does 2 times anything equal 9? No, because 9 is an odd number. What about 3 times anything? Oh, yes, 3 times 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. Can you think of any other factors of 9? 4 times anything? No. 5 times anything? No, we're getting too close to the number 9 now. So these are all the factors of the product 9. If I said to you, list the factors of 9, list the factors of 9, you would write in your list 1, then you'd put a comma. 3, then you'd put a comma. See, here's 1 and here's 3. Now we don't have to write 3 again. We only write 3 once if it's 3 times 3. And then we write our final factor, which is 9. So there's a list of the factors of 9. Let's do another one. Let's say our product this time is 18. So our product is 18. Let's figure out what the factors of 18 are. Remember, we can always start with 1, because 1 is a factor of every number. 1 times 18 equals 18. So our first two factors are 1 and 18. Let's think about 2 times something. Yes, because 18 is an even number. 2 times 9 equals 18. We found 2 more factors of 18, 2 and 9. Let's think if there are any other factors of 18. Does 3 times something equal 18? Yes. 3 times 6 equals 18. So we found even more factors of 18. How about 4? 4 times something? No. 5? No. 5, 10, 15, 20? No. 6? We already have that one. 6 times 3. So we have all of our factors of 18. Now, if I asked you to list the factors of 18 in a list, you would write it this way. We always start with 1 in our list. We write the lowest numbers first, and we go from lowest to highest numbers. We write 1, here's 1, 2, here's 2, 3, here's 3, 6, here's 6. Remember, we're going in number order from lowest to highest. 9, here's 9, and 18. Look at that. That's a lot of factors. Let's count how many factors 18 has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 factors. Now, you have a lesson worksheet today. It's called Lesson Worksheet 120-2. So look for this lesson worksheet, please. Lesson Worksheet 120-2. And if you need to pause this video to find it, that would be fine. So go ahead and find the worksheet, and then we're going to work on writing the factors of each number from 1 to 20 together on that worksheet. We're going to do it together. So I'm going to draw on my page here. I'm only going to be able to draw 5 numbers at a time. So I'm going to draw what it looks like on your worksheet, like this. And then we are going to work on it together. So I hope you are ready. We're going to work with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 first. Okay, now you'll see at the top the numbers are listed, and these are the products. So these are the answers to multiplication problems. These are the products. So if our product is 1, and we are asked to list the factors of 1, well, we can always write 1 times 1. Actually, those are the only factors of 1, aren't they? 1 times 1. We remember that 1 times any number is going to be a factor. 1 is going to be a factor of every number. So let's do all through 1 through 5 like that. Let's write 1 times 2. Let's write 1 times 3. Let's write 1 times 4. And let's write 1 times 5. So we're only going to be doing 1 through 5 right now on your paper. So you can look at your paper and see if you have 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4, and 1 times 5. And remember, you can pause the video at any time to catch up. Okay, now in the second row here, we're going to think about if there are any other factors of any of these numbers. Are there any other factors of 1? We already said no. Any other factors of 2? No, only 2 times 1. Any other factors of 3? No, only 3 times 1. Any other factors of 4? Oh yes, because this is an even number. 2 is a factor of every even number. 2 times 2 is 4. So we're going to write 2 times 2 in the second row. Any other factors of 5? No, there are not. So now what we're going to do is take a look at the bottom row where it says factors. I'm just going to write an F right here on my board for factors. F for factors. Down in this bottom row, I didn't leave myself enough room. And I'm going to divide that bottom row by using green there, just to show you that it's the bottom row. Down here at the bottom. This is where we're working now. Now this is where we're going to write our list of factors. Remember how we did that on the previous page? So we're going to write our list of factors. So in the factor list for 1, we're just going to write a 1. Because remember, we don't write numbers twice in our lists, we only write them once. So the factor in the list of the factors for 1 is 1. Let's list the factors for 2. Excuse me, 1. Then we're going to write 1, comma, 2. Remember we put commas between our factors in a list? Let's list our factors for 3. 1, comma, 3. Let's list our factors for 4. Now remember, we have to write them in number order. So we start with 1, comma, 2, comma, and remember, we don't write 2 again. We only write it once in our list. And our other factors, you can see we have 1 here and 2 here. And our other factor is 4. So our list for the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. Our list for the factors of 5 are 1 and 5. Great job, boys and girls. Now we're going to move on to the next page and write the factors for the numbers 6 through 10. So let me draw that quickly. 6. Okay, I need 6 rows there, or 5 rows. Here's the row with the factors. I'm going to write F for factors. Let's erase that little part. Okay, then we need 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And remember, these are the products at the top of the row. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's write the factors of 6 through 10. Let's write the factors for 6 first. 1 times 6. Let's go all the way across with 1 times each of these products. 1 times 7, 1 times 8, 1 times 9, 1 times 10. Great job. If you need to pause the video, you can pause it so that you can catch up with me. Okay, now let's take a look at the next row because there may be more factors of each of these numbers. Some of them do have more factors. In fact, all the even numbers are going to have a factor of 2. So let's do those. 2 times 3 is 6 because 6 is an even number. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 is an even number, so 2 is one of the factors. 2 times 5 is 10 because 10 is an even number. So it always is going to have a factor of 2. There we go. Now, let's think if any of these numbers have a factor of 3. Well, we already see one here in the factors for 6. What about 7? 3 times something equals 7? No. How about 8? 3 times something equals 8? No. How about the number 9? Yes. 3 times 3 equals 9. What about the number 10? 3 times anything? No. So here we have all our factors, boys and girls, for the numbers 6 through 10. Now we're going to go down to the bottom where our list is, and we're going to list the factors of each number. Now remember, we write the factors in number order from smallest to greatest in a list with commas in between. So let's list the factors of 6. 1, comma, 2, comma, 3, comma, and 6. And you can see those right up here. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Let's list the factors of 7. 1 and 7. That's all. Let's list the factors of 8. 1, 2, 4, and 8. Put commas in between. You can see those up here. 1, 2, 4, and 8. Let's list the factors of 9. 1, comma, 3, comma, and remember, don't write 3 twice, only one time, and 9. Very good. And then the factors of 10. 1, 2, comma, 5, comma, and 10. There we have our list of all the factors of the numbers 6 through 10. Now let's move on to the next page, and we're going to do our numbers 11 through 15. Let's start with our chart, drawing our chart again. 6, good. And then let's write our numbers 11 through 15. This is where our factors are going to be, our list at the end. So that's 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Remember, these are our products at the top. Let's start with 11. 1 times 11. Let's do 1 times all of the products because we know that 1 is a factor of every product. 1 times 12, 1 times 13, 1 times 14, 1 times 15. Remember, you can pause your video if you need to catch up with me if I'm going too fast. Now let's take a look at the even numbers because we know they have to have a factor of 2. 2 times 6 is 12 because 12 is an even number, and 2 times 7 is 14 because 14 is an even number. Now let's think about the factor 3. Is 3 a factor of 11? 3 times something? No. How about 12? Yes, 3 times 4 equals 12. How about 13? 3 times something? No. 14? No. 3 times something equals 15? Yes. 3 times 5 equals 15. Now in our bottom row, at the bottom here, where I drew the green line, we're going to list our factors just like we've been doing with commas in between. List the factors of 11, 1, and 11. Now let's write our factors for 12. And you can see there are 6 factors, so let's write them in 2 rows so that we can fit them all in the box for the factors, the list of factors. Let's write them 1, 2, 3, in the top row, and then 4, 6, 12, in the bottom row. And you can see where I got those factors. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Let's write the factors, list the factors for 13 now. 1, 13. That's all. And the factors for 14, 1, 2, 7, and then I can't fit any more there, so I'm going to write 14 in the bottom row. And then our factors for 15, 1, 3, 5, and 15. And there's our list of factors for all the products 11 through 15. Now on the next page, we're going to do our factors for 16 through 20. And then we're going to learn about prime numbers. So let's write our chart for 16 through 20. Okay, so here we have 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Those are our products. And then in the very bottom row, we'll make one extra row down here. That's where we're going to write or list our factors. So I'm going to write F for factors down in that bottom row here. And let's make this one a little wider for 20 because we're going to have a lot of factors for 20, as you will see. Now remember, we're going to start with 1 because 1 is a factor of every number. 1 times 16, 1 times 17, 1 times 18, 1 times 19, 1 times 20. If you need to pause the video to catch up, you can pause. Now let's look at all the even numbers because they all have a factor of 2. And let's write those factors. 2 times 8 equals 16. 2 times 9 equals 18. 2 times 20, or 2 times 10, equals 20. Now let's take a look and see if any of those numbers has a factor of 3. Well, yes, they do. There is one. 3 times 6 equals 18. So let's write that in the third row here. Now, this is the first time we've come across an extra row that we need. We need to write some that have factors of 4. Let's check 16. 4 times something? Yes, 4 times 4 is 16. 17? No. 18? No. 19? No. 20 though does. 4 times 5 equals 20. So we can see that we're using 4 in that fourth row. Now let's list all of our factors down here at the bottom in the factor row. So let's list our factors of 16. We have some factors, 5 factors, so let's list them in 2 rows. 1, 2, 4, Remember, don't list 4 twice. We only list it once. 8, and 16. You can see those factors right up here. 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. Now let's list the factors of 17, 1 and 17. Let's list the factors of 18 in 2 rows. 1, 2, 3. Remember, we go in number order. 6, 9, and 18. And you can see those right here. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Let's list the factors of 19, 1 and 19. And then we're listing the factors of 20. Finally, we're finishing up. Let's list them. Ready? 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So we have listed the factors of all the products 1 through 20. Now we're going to learn about something called prime numbers. Some of these numbers are called prime numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that have exactly 2 factors. So let's write that here. Prime numbers. A prime number has exactly 2 factors. So take a look at the sheet we just filled out, our lesson worksheet. And let's look for numbers. Let's look for products at the top. And let's look at our lists of factors below each of the products and see if there are exactly 2 factors. Let's check each number, and we're going to list the prime numbers between 1 and 20 when we find them. Is 1 a prime number? Well, let's check the factors. How many factors does 1 have? It only has 1 factor, and that's the factor 1. So 1 is not a prime number. What about the product 2, the number 2? It has the factors 1 and 2. That's exactly 2 factors. So we have just found our first prime number. Our first prime number is the number 2. Let's see about 3. Does 3 have exactly 2 factors? Yes, it does, 1 and 3. 3 is our next prime number. Does 4 have exactly 2 factors? No, 4 has 3 factors. You can see in the list, 1, 2, and 4. Does 5 have exactly 2 factors? Yes, 1 and 5. 1 times 5. So we can write 5 is our next prime number. What about 6? 6 has 4 factors. 1, 2, 3, and 6. So 6 is not a prime number. What about 7? 7 has exactly 2 factors, so it is a prime number. 7 is our next prime number. Let's look at 8, 9, and 10. Do any of them have exactly 2 factors? No. 8 has 4 factors, 9 has 3 factors, and 10 has 4 factors. Let's look at 11 now. Let's look at the factors of 11. 1 and 11. That's exactly 2 factors, so we found another prime number, 11. Let's look at 12. 12 has 6 factors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So that is definitely not a prime number. Let's look at 13. Yes, exactly 2 factors. So we write 13 in our list of prime numbers. 14, 15, and 16. No, they all have 4 or 5 factors. We need to look for exactly 2 factors. Let's look at 17. 17 does have exactly 2 factors, 1 times 17. So we're going to write 17 as our next prime number. 18 has 6 factors, so it's definitely not a prime number. 19, let's look at the factors, 1 and 19. Yes, 19 is a prime number. And 20, no, 20 has 6 factors. It's not a prime number. So we are going to go back to our sheet now, and we're going to circle, take a pencil or crayon, whatever you'd like to use, and let's look at the factors, let's look at the products at the top of each table. And let's circle the prime numbers. So we're going to circle the number 2 at the top of our table. That's our product at the top. Let's circle the number 3. We're circling all of our prime numbers. Let's circle the product 5 at the top of the table. Let's circle 7 at the top of the table. Now let's go to the second table at the bottom of the page. And let's circle 11, Let's circle 13, 17, and 19 because they are all our prime numbers. And remember, prime numbers have exactly 2 factors. And one of those factors is always going to be 1 because the exactly 2 factors of 2 are 1 times 2. 3, 1 times 3. 5, 1 times 5. 7, 1 times 7. 11, 1 times 11. 13, 1 times 13. 17, 1 times 17. 19, 1 times 19. So you can see that these prime numbers have exactly 2 factors. And that one of those factors is always going to be the factor 1. The other factor is going to be the number itself. Exactly 2 factors. So I hope you enjoyed our lesson today about products and factors and prime numbers. I've enjoyed making the lesson, and I've enjoyed seeing you on our GoToMeetings, and I'll see you again at our GoToMeeting on Friday. God bless you and have a great day, boys and girls.